Hey, Don here. Well, forgot to hit the wrong scene. Uh, Back with another live stream. Of course, of course. Horse is a horse, of course, and he has to cough every time he gets on the video. All right, so I'm going to go back to work on Mom's computer. I want to put her video card back in there. I got it set up on the table, and you can see those little legs there at the left of the screen. That is my tripod, my good tripod that was mounted on my mic stand holding Cam 2, and I figured out another way to mount it on there using the mic clip, and I'll show you. And let's see, I used it yesterday, but I didn't show what I had going on. But I'm going to go ahead and show it now. So I'm going to grab Cam 1. Oh, let me switch. I'll go to the desktop so I know I'm switching right. For sure. Okay, both. Now, just the wireless. Now let's hear the sound over there on my preview. It's over there playing. But I haven't... it's working. Okay. I haven't... I can't think. I haven't been up that long. Been up longer than I thought. I got up at around... When did I get up? It's 12 noon. I think I got up at like 15 till 9. Got up late today. I stayed up. I didn't go to bed till about 1:30 last night. I didn't realize how late it was when I quit. I got lost track of time. So, but I'm up and going anyway. So I'm going to get this camera, and I'm going to use it to show you what I set up. Now there's the endoscope, and it's on my best tripod, the one with the most adjustments. And then here's my setup I made. I don't know which way is the way to get. I can't see the preview. Let me go on around there. So I've got it aimed down. You see that wooden dowel stick? That's off my clothes tree that's out in the garage because one of the legs broke off of it. Well, there's one missing hanger dowel, and there's one, they're fancy, they're routed and everything, so they're actually a nice little handle. And all I had to do was add quite a few rubber bands there to make that tighter so it would hold it, not fall out. And I can just take it off and hold the thing by that handle too when I want to. I did a test with it earlier on just a regular video, not a stream. And of course my same old, my standard giant paper clips I used to, and all my tripods now, they work really well along with the rubber bands. And then I use those big wide wire, plastic with wire inside that are on the top of your bags of coffee. I like coffee with beans, And let's see. Oh, I think it's asleep. I was going to show the display and see if you could see it, but I got a lot of motion that way because the mic stand will twist left and right, and this will go all the way up till it's standing straight up and down, and then the mic stand adjusts up and down. So that's as much motion as I get out of any tripod, really, just about pretty much. And this one has some fine tuning, and I have used it before. It's actually pretty helpful. Now with this endoscope, so that cable, it's on a long cable, and I just got it wrapped around up there, and then wrapped around my mic boom. I always talk about that. There it is. Right now I've just got it up on the desk because of to get it out of the way. But I rigged that up. It's upside down. See, it was one that had broken legs, and so I just mounted it to my rack and let it set on my desk, and I put some foam insulation that you use to wrap. Generally, this is used on air conditioner tubing, coming from the condenser and compressor outside back towards the house or through the attic. If it's done right, it should be in the attic like that too. But anyway, I had some to replace, bought some to replace the outside part that the weather had ruined. This is the same stuff, but I split it, or left it, just, it's already split, and I just had to open it up real wide to get it on there, and then I taped it up with some pretty pink and gray. It's supposed to be pink with trees painted on it, but and then that one I just recently added because it was making noise when I'd start a computer up in the rack. The hard plastic. There's a hard plastic end on there, but it was transferring the sound to the mic, so that pretty well cut that out. Doing that, so now I'm all set up. So let me go ahead and put this back in its spot. I don't think I have another place I need it to be. I think it'll be all right because I made sure I didn't tilt it or, you know, move it. Just grab that one's kind of good in one way because you can, it's okay as a tripod. You would think it'd be real good because it's made out of aluminum, but it's actually really tight, doesn't move good. If you get it, loosen it up, then it won't stay. The legs will fold up on you in the drop of a hat. But that's good because you can grab it, fold the legs up, and hold the legs. It's still not, they're sticking out, and you bang them on stuff when you're trying to, you know, hold it like I was just doing. If I was in any tight spaces, it would have been, I would have hit it on something. Jerk the camera. That one, I'm going to try it out because all I got to do is squeeze that clip and take it out of there. And I can have me a little handy cam without, you know, if you're trying to just hold the camera like that, you always, it's harder to aim, harder to do it without dropping it. I'm always dropping them, so I try not to do that very much anymore. And harder to stay steady with that handle. For some reason, it's just the right ergonomics, and you can just. Of course, it's not a steady cam or anything like that, but heck, it's a lot better than spending, you know, $15 or $30 on one of those little handles you can buy online or whatever. That aren't steady cams, you know. I mean, some of them are, and I've seen ways to make them and stuff, and that'd be pretty cool. But I actually don't like to do that much because I got to have two. Everything I do is most all the things I do videos on is projects, and you got to have both hands, you know. So now the endoscope, it's a fixed focus, so I left it. I can move it closer, but then you wouldn't see the whole area where the card goes. So I left it. It's a little fuzzy, but still works okay. And so let's go ahead and get to work there. I think I'll leave it on that scene. That way you can see the overall and the close-up. And we should be okay. I always feel like I need to check my. Sometimes, like yesterday, I went forever. I didn't realize how long I was going, and I even forgot to check my stream for a couple of. I was on there like, I don't even remember now. I think it was 3.5 hours. I think it was at least 2 hours I didn't check my stream, but it was fine when I. Yeah. So, as low budget videos go, I've got stuff set up. $15 for each phone, 3 phones, and they have adequate cameras. They actually will do 1080p, but I'm always saying that my network, my Wi-Fi can't handle it. My Wi-Fi can handle it plenty because I've got a new D-Link router that's, I guess they call it AC. I just go by the speeds, you know. It's like it'll do. Oh, of course, I can't remember that either. I think 5 gigahertz will do 1700 megabits, and to 2.4 gigahertz will do 1200 megabits, or in optimum conditions. But the phones, the most they'll ever do is 72 megabits. I've ever caught, you know, doing tests on them, and they'll just fluctuate all the time, anywhere from, you know, 10. I go down to 5 sometimes with a bad connection, but they generally stand around 12 to 72. I think they generally stay 35 to 72. So streaming video is a challenge for these phones, so I use 720p instead of 1080p because I just can't do it because the audio and video won't sync at all. I have enough trouble as it is. So I'm using digital to do analog style video, really, because my audio and video is not. There's no way to do SMPTE timecode with these things. I wish there was. Then it would automatically resync, even if they were sent at a little bit different time. But I don't know of any way to add a SMPTE timecode to digital video. That's how we did it in the analog days. You could record on a professional recorder that had SMPTE timecode, and then you had a professional camera that had SMPTE timecode. You could, that's how they used to do it a lot. And well, I think they still do that a lot. I don't know how they do it, like the pro people do these days. I know they still do that. I know they still use a lot of times they'll use the camera mic as sort of a reference mic, and then they use a really good mic, like they still use those handheld boom mics to hold, and record on. I don't think they use analog recorders much anymore. I don't know, because I haven't ever got to play with hardly any really. The most expensive stuff I ever got to play with was back in the 90s. Well, actually, I ended up buying one on an auction in the late 90s. I had a Sony BVP3 studio camera that was, you could be portable or studio, and it was a tube camera. It was 750 lines of resolution analog tube camera. It was when they bought them new, they were $10,000 to $12,000 when they were brand new in the late 80s, early 90s. I think it was early 90s. I got it for $350, and it was a great camera, even in the late 90s, early 2000s. But I ended up selling it because I ended up selling it for $1,500, and I needed the money, so I sold it. So anyway, here we go. In case you haven't seen it today, I put after cleaning and playing with it and turning it on, and never made any noise for me. It did seem, it's not. I thought it was stronger. I don't suppose I made it weaker by cleaning it and spraying stuff on it, but anyway, I was able to. I finally, this is the one that cut my finger up, because I tried to. It was in here, and I tried to reach over there and stop the fan or see how much force it could handle. Well, I got the corner of them really sharp blades. I couldn't even see. I was just stupid. Well, it was on Easter Sunday, and I had my Easter dinner and I ate a dessert, and that's not good when you're dad. You can splurge once in a while, but then I went back to work, and so I was not with it, and I did something dumb. So anyway, let's go ahead and put it in there, and there we go. I think it went just fine. It sure is a hard one to get out, though, or it was the last time. Let's see, the power to the fan is on the board, so no need to plug anything up. And I got to thinking, I wondered if I have, with this fan, I expect it to go back to making noise, to tell you the truth. And I wondered, is that going to work? I'm going to have to get another screwdriver. That one is just fat enough. That's one thing good about this long, skinny screwdriver. When you're in a place where the diameter of your screwdriver matters, now I can start it straight, I think. Yeah, there we go. It was just that much difference. But these are a little harder to get tight, so I'm going to use this one to tighten it on up with. Because these you want good and tight. You tighten them too much, it'll like this one, for instance, it wants to ride. It doesn't have a hole, and well, most all of them have just a slot. It doesn't want to ride all the way out, so you don't need to overdo it. But I'm going to turn it on like this, I think, so that we can see it good, and then I'll stand it up, because it never makes noise till it's stood up. So let's see about getting things hooked up to it. And trying to figure out where I want to put things here. I'm going to bang it into everything. Yep. I guess it's still close enough. Okay. Better get my magnifying glass and check this. This cable is, I don't know what I'm going to have. I'm going to have to get, I spent a whole day pretty much setting, was it yesterday? Yeah, most of the day. Well, I ended up making it a long, long day because I did a bunch of work last night. But I spent all afternoon, part of the morning, all afternoons, setting up my new video setup. don't think so. I felt like it didn't want to go all the way in there. No, it was okay. And hunting screws and stuff to put all that together. Hunting parts, figuring out what I could use, and hunting parts out in the garage. And yesterday it was 45 degrees yesterday, and when I got up in the morning, about 7 or so, somewhere around in there, and then it never got above. I don't even know if it actually got to 50. What did it get up to? Oh, I think it got up to 58 or 55, 58, something by the end of the day. But because I kind of glanced at it once later on. But anyway, that would have been super nice for running this thing, but I didn't. Never even got it out of the floor. I never ran it because I didn't get far enough along. But now it's hot. I mean, it's not hot. It's not a hot day. Well, it is too. It's 79 right now outside. 78.3 in here. And I went and turned the air conditioner on. It wasn't on. Set it on 75, but that'll just keep me from completely dying in here. It won't make it nice. And probably it'll get cool in there and it'll get turned down or down, up, whichever way you want to say it. And it won't be running very much. So I got the window open. Otherwise, you know, when it's this warm, really the window sometimes does more harm than good. And I think it's kind of humid. It feels like it. Oh, I dropped the darn cable. I guess I'll get my grabber. Way down there where I can't get to it without smashing my face into everything here. I might mess up my hairdo. Come on. Oh, let's see if I can just drag it. There we go. I was trying to clip it with my handy dandy grabber, but it's a little tricky to do. Yeah, this thing is pretty cool. See there? But it's not super big, so you have to be accurate with it. That was my grandma's, my mama's. My grandma on my dad's side. So I got the iron here. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So once my mama and papa were gone and we were having to divide up their stuff, I saw that and I got it. Good memories too. Every time I use it, I don't always remember now that that's where I got it, but when I do, it's a nice memory. Okay, so I got skin hanging off of that finger. That drives me crazy when you got there. That was dry too. Sound like you're cutting a fingernail. Can't see what I'm doing. There. I usually just do that by feel. There. I don't know if you could see that either. Just since it was there, I just stuck my finger in there to do that. But I couldn't turn where it's sitting now. I can't see the preview. Okay, let's make sure everything is nothing's knocked loose, especially the fan connector. Oh yeah, I want to put the door on it. So I think I will go ahead and put the door on it. Don't need the close-up. Really, you know, when I started up here, it's not necessary. So you're not going to see the fan or anything. You won't see it spinning. If I decide I want to show the fan, I can always move this towards the fan. Okay, so let's get off of that double view and just go to the cam 2. There we go. And then, I guess we'll just put that right there for now. And let that fall. All right, now what? Put the door on and plug up the other fan. Well, I was thinking, what about listening to for the noise? But actually, I can hear it. If it's making the noise, I know where it's coming from because the CPU fan that I thought was making the noise is brand new, and it doesn't. And it was perfectly quiet without that. So, for quite a while the other day without this video card. So, and then I got to figure out which fan I want to order. If I want to go ahead and order those 3 for just under $3, or and wait a month or more to get them, or something more expensive and get it sooner. I didn't really look at the more expensive ones once I saw that, because I just kept thinking, I won't spend that much more for the same thing. I mean, you just can't really find, there's not very much, variance in quality. It's all pretty poor. Now that wire, it seems to want to go, well, at least this fan's got a good shroud on it, so I think it'll actually be all right. I'll do it like that, and then when I stand it up, it's gonna, the gravity, make sure when you get it in a certain way so that when you stand it up, the gravity pulls it away from fans. I saw a fan that advertised that had a sensor on it that would, I guess keep it from burning itself up if a wire got hung in it. I didn't read all of it, but and I don't know if it did work. I don't know. It might make the fan tend to stop itself as soon as it got old and dirty. That's what I was thinking. But as soon as it gets a little resistance, just because it's got some dust in it and it's getting old and weaker, it may not be any good anymore. It may not even run sooner than these others. So I don't know. It did sound like a good thing if it could work well, All right, everything's on. Let me switch over to that machine on my KVM switch, and I guess I'll leave it on that view. Well, let's do this. I'll do cams 1 and 2, I guess. Yeah, because the endoscope won't be able to see down in there now that I put the door on it. And then if I can always pick up the other camera again if I wanted to, and move it around. Okay, turn this on. Okay, it sounds perfect right now, but it usually does. Okay, I think, well, I'll wait till it gets booted up before I move it around. If I did interrupt it somehow, I'd rather it not already be booted up, I think, than in the middle of booting. I don't know if that really makes any difference with Linux, but as long as I don't hit the power button or something and turn it off, this one's okay. I've been doing it, setting it up, setting it down with it running, so I haven't had any trouble. But, right now it's quiet like it should be, but I do not expect that just a little cleaning will. Now, with the door on it, I don't know if that fan's really moving any air. It's spinning. I guess it's only going to move what it's going to move, though. I can always take it off. I just want to see if it's going to make any noise. All right, it's up. I won't log in yet. Okay. There we go. Yeah, because that vent on the side, right, there's actually only one opening that goes all the way through because of the way well, there's two. But the area where you mount the motherboard, it blocks a bunch of that vent. But that sound really comes out of there. So if it starts making noise, having it like that is where I hear that sound the most. It's what bothers me the most. So let's go ahead and log into it. Right, I wish I had a temperature app for inside the operating system. I mean, I can go look in BIOS, but you gotta stop it and get into BIOS. But I don't remember ever seeing one for Linux. They have them a lot for Windows, but they also used to use too much resources. I'd put them on there and then take them back off. All those little tweaking apps and temperature apps and all that stuff. I had one with the several of them with all kinds of apps with the ASRock motherboard, but I took them all back off once I looked at them because they use so much resources. I could tell a difference in the way the machine ran. And I already had enough stuff on there, you know. So, see, do I want to do those updates now? I just came up with some updates. No, let's don't do them right now, because I may end up wanting to shut it down. So if it gets noisy, I don't want to have to sit there and listen to it. If it's in the middle of updates, I'll have to. Okay. So. Get set back up, then I'll go to the let's go to the desktop, and I think I will just go ahead and let's get out of this. Okay, back on the 58. Now let me get back in Firefox here. Yeah, that's working good. And I'll go back to the gonna go back and review some of my search results on these fans. Just wait and see if that thing starts making noise. If it does, then I'll get back over there and inspect it some more. But of course, I'm pretty sure that it might be quiet after that cleaning, and I did clean it. Put a little WD-40 on the bushing because I got to thinking, well, you know what? I was all that talk I was saying about just clean them and don't put that on there. I don't have any. Well, I may have something better, but I forgot about it until I kept forgetting about it. Actually, and I don't know where it is. I'd have to go find it. But there's one thing that I know I was going to try it, but I don't remember if I did. And that is, I had some saved. You remember Slick 50, the stuff you put in your engine crankcase and your oil, mixed with your oil, and it's supposed to. Of course, I think they finally proved that stuff was a lie, but it said they had a famous commercial where they'd run it for so many couple thousand miles or something with no oil, just Slick 50. Well, they put Slick 50 in the oil and then drained the oil and then drove it, and they. You know, they said it wouldn't hurt the motor. I've even seen people on YouTube do tests like that in the last few years. Okay, we're working now. So anyway, I used to use it, and I thought that it's. I just thought it would be good overall to have it had the slickest. You know, when you get it on your fingers, it certainly had the slickest properties, and it wouldn't come off. It didn't come off your fingers as easily as oil. But you know, there's no way to tell really if that stuff was doing much good. It didn't do any harm. When I was young, I used to use STP. Well, I had old car. When I was young, I had old cars. My first car cost $160, and so it needed some STP because it had a little blow by, but. It's a good learning car, though. That was a Buick Invicta with a 445 Wildcat, big block engine. Do 110 miles an hour all day long. Never heard it. But it did blow a little smoke, and it did, I don't remember now. I didn't even know what blow-by was when I bought the car, but I learned all that stuff. That's when a little bit of smoke comes back out your carburetor or your fuel injection or your air intake, whatever you might have these days. So, oh yeah, let's do it that way. So let me just go into Amazon. I have my link saved for my searches, so get in my bookmarks. I said I'll get in my bookmarks. I think they're just taking a while to open up. Maybe not. Nope, maybe not. Okay, I don't remember where it is though. There we go. Now here's the one I had this thought that I would get, the ones. So they only have 2 reviews, but they're both 5-star. And so I think they really are about this product because, you know, well, this one doesn't say anything. A lot better than expected, and that one said needs 12-volt DC to run it, but works as described. Well, I don't know if that's from what I'm gathering here. I've never had a CPU heat cooling fan go out. So I don't know. I think 12 volt is the way they were. It's the only one. I think that's how they are. That's what you see when you look at them, looking for them. But you get 3 of them, and they're the exact right size for mine. Mine is those holes, the mounting holes. You can't see that there's 3 of them. They are, and it's the right kind. It's 2-wire connector, the right kind of connector. It looks like. I can't see the other side actually, but I think it is. I'm almost certain it is. But anyway, and they give you the millimeters, centimeters, and inches. So it's 1 inch on centers on the mounting holes. It's a 35 millimeter fan, or 1.4 inches, and that's exactly what these are. So you know, 287 for 3 of them. The only thing is they're gonna. It says you get it as soon as April 24th to May 15th. So you know, sometimes you get that stuff within a month. Sometimes when you get it straight from China like that, sometimes you get it 2 or 3 months later, or not at all, and have to go get a refund and everything. So it's only reason. That's main reason I don't. And then you see here's some of the related products. There's one. There's one is $1.99. That might be the one that's a 35 millimeter, but that's the same. Basically the same fan. So why would I pay $2 for one? You know, and it may get here sooner. I don't know, but looks like the same fan. It probably is. Some of these others are different. There's one that looks like that style. That's 37 millimeter. Well, that wouldn't fit. That's a weird size. I guess there's lots of difference in the sizes. But I have some more. I have some search results that's narrowed down better. But there's not a heck of a lot of information about it. So, you know, but it's not a lot of money to be spending either. Let's see. Okay, what have I got here? Video card, 4 stars and up. Electronics. That's 35 millimeter. Yeah, this is gonna. Wait, I wanted to save that page. Go ahead and get on another page. This will narrow me down. So what have I got? Yeah, 4 stars and up, 35 millimeter. There's not a heck of a lot of them when you do it that way. Whoops. Well, I mean, actually there may be. Oh, no, there's not. Oh, because I went 4 stars and up. Yeah, there we go. So there's actually only 3 that comes up with that particular search result. I didn't remember that. So I guess that's why I had already decided on that one. And that's in suggested, but it don't matter. That's what their default sort by. I was talking about that the other day, but I wasn't on enough search results to show it. But that's 468 with 497 shipping. That's 649. That's a funky looking fan right there. I don't think that flat straight fan blade is a good blade. It's only going to blow air sideways. It's not. Maybe that's okay in that because it'll blow it through the fins. You know. Let's look at that one. But yeah, look at that. I mean, in the heatsink, since it's mounted down in the heatsink, maybe that's just be okay. But there's only one review, so we're not really in any better shape. Let's see what work the design, arrived in short time. Let's see how long it would take to get that one. Doesn't even say on this spot. Huh. So we'll say see all. Oh, there's no price, so we got to go like that. And there's only one offer. Oh, and it has $5.48 shipping. So heck no. So that's kind of weird because I really thought that. Okay, let's go up here. 4 stars and up. Yeah. But those aren't going to be all. There's a lot more when you look at it that way, I think. And that's how I found them originally, I think. And then I started thinking, okay, let's narrow this down. But see, they're all different sizes. So when you do 35 millimeter, I guess let's see what happens. Because I think I was searching along and I found a lot more. Now they're showing up more. Why is that? And now that thing's not there where you can narrow it down either. Oh, and it doesn't have 4 stars and up either. So but there's what you see. Like there's that other brand that I looked at first, but that's not even a 35 millimeter. Maybe this one is, but That one is a 35 millimeter. The other one I saw of theirs, it wasn't. But see, it looks like the same fan. This one looks like it comes in a little bag. I don't think the other ones come in anything but a... It's a little bit different looking plug. I think maybe it would still work. Well, I don't know. Can I show that? Okay, right there. That looks like that would make it not fit. Well, no, that might be the tail end of that kind of V-shaped thing that's on the back, or not exactly a V, but yeah, it probably would. But is it? Yeah, it has 3 reviews. 1 star. See, 2 5 stars and a 1 star. Doesn't say why, but something they didn't like about it. But that's $1.99. When same thing. It's going to take the same exact amount of time to get it. So I'm beginning to feel a little encouraged because, you know, as long as this fan will work, it's not so far. It's not making any noise. If it would work for the next couple months, then, you know, I don't really want to get through with the machine, put it back in there, and then have to bring it back in there and do that. But it's not a big job, you know. Now that I've figured it out how to do it and getting that fan out of there and everything. I mean, the video card, yeah, I've been a lot. I don't know how many times I've done that, but the fan, I've never taken a video card out of the heatsink before. It's not hard once you. I mean, I figured it out without any help or anything. I just looked at it and figured it out. But there are tiny screws and a little tricky to fool with, but it's not that big a deal. I can't see them good, but yesterday when I put it back together, I had my work table up in front of my monitor, and I used my endoscope as a magnifier so I could see what I was doing. That helped a lot. Otherwise, I got to rig to have 2 hands. I got to rig magnifying glass up on a block or something. Rubber. I've got a block out in the garage. I've got another one out in the garage that I keep rubber bands handy, and I rubber band it to a piece of 2x4, and get it just the right height. But it's only exactly the right height, so if anything won't fit under it, then, well, I guess you could block it up some more or something. But anyway, you know what? It's just, to me, I don't see any reason to even think about getting something else. If I go to 4 stars, then I'm back to those 3 fans. Those are the only choice that, to me, I'm not going to go less than 4 stars. So, and I did look around on other, I just looked on Google Shopping and stuff. Let's see what comes up there. Oh, I guess I didn't go to shopping. Now let's go 1 to. I don't think you can go less than $1, can you? Or can you? Let's just see. 0.20. Let's just go 0.10. I know you're not going to find one for 10 cents, but I don't think it'll take under $1, but we'll see. $10. No, not that much. $6. I'm cheap. Okay, now there's one. It did work, evidently. Yeah, there's one that's $1, but probably the shipping is $10. You know how that goes. But seeing the same fans, there's not very many in that price range. Let's see. Some of them are used. Where's the new button? There we go. Let's see. Clicking that new button doesn't always get rid of the used stuff, though. Okay. I don't think those are all 35 millimeter. Oh, this one's still there. Looks like the same fan. Okay, and that's all eBay. I don't buy at eBay. I hate eBay. I hate dealing with the company and the way they have their setup. Try to put something in the cart to see what the shipping is going to be, and then they say you defaulted and you didn't buy the item. Well, I never clicked on purchase, so there. I used to sell stuff on there, and they charge you an arm and a leg when you sell something on there too. So I don't buy on eBay. All right. There's the same fan for $5 if you want to do that. I wonder if it'd even get there any sooner. There's another one that says eBay. I don't really want to. See, it'd be too much trouble to try to narrow it down. I don't want to narrow it down to 1 or 2 stores. I don't want to click on all those boxes. If you could just say what you don't want, it might be better. I don't think that's a 35mm fan there. That says case fan. I don't think those are 35mm fans. They could be possible. Let's see. I don't think so. Yeah, 3.6 inches by 1 by 3.6. That's just an 80mm case fan, I think. Newegg Business. We'll go there and see. Actually, not a bad. Well, yeah, it's a little cheaper than I was seeing them on. Oh, I saw that brand. Probably, I didn't see them for that price on Amazon, but I also keep forgetting to click that right there and go to. You can go, well, if you go best review, you'll get like all the expensive stuff. Of course, there's only 3 items here, but low to high is how I ended up finding that one. Of course, I didn't have it. I set on 4 stars either, but yeah, I don't see any. I'm just going to wait then, because now while I'm talking, I'm going to go ahead and order it and wait. I think I already have it in my cart. Yeah, I do. I don't think I'll order it. Let me see. What am I going to do? I don't want to order it on my video because I don't know what kind of personal information to be showing. Probably too much. Yeah, it would be. But of course, I could click off where you couldn't see it like I've done before on stuff like that. But heck, I don't know what. I mean, what's the point in just making a bad video? You know, I mean, boring bad video. Let's see. What else do I need to do on this thing? It's quiet. I think it may be going to stay quiet at least for a few hours to a day or a month or something. Hopefully a month or 2 until I get the new fans. But let's do that right now. I didn't expect things to go. I didn't know what to expect, so I hadn't made any plan beyond that. I didn't even plan on looking them up, but I thought, well, I need to do something. I need to do it. That's the next thing I need to do. I'm looking at my notes for this computer. I've been thinking, kept coming to me that I think I did notice that fan one day when I was checking fans, and I thought, well, I need to check it too. And then I'm thinking I probably might have set a note to self on the video, but never saw it again, or I might even wrote it down. There's the fan. Let's see. I just make sure the one I'm getting is the size I need. I've got the dimensions right there. And yeah, okay. These are just some recent notes. Oh, yeah, these are pretty recent, but. Okay, let me look at the sizes on the fan. And what's that showing? Just the top of the computer. Okay, go back to the desktop again. So this fan is, let's see. Oh, CPU fan. I didn't write that. This is when I was ordering the CPU fan. Oh, the CPU fan. I'm thinking that since the other one evidently is really nothing wrong with it, got fooled by where the sound was coming from. And since it does infringe on the memory so much that I was worried about it, and I moved that one memory stick to the memory slot too. I may go back to the other memory, the other CPU cooler, and this new one. I think it will go. Oh, let's go look at it. Whoops. Keep switching back and forth because I don't know what it is I'm wanting to do. CPU cooler. that's it. I forgot to. I've got that all. I put that in there and then I didn't rename it. There we go. Let's see. This is it. I just wanted to show the fan. This is the CPU cooler that's in there now. And but see the step right there, that the memory it's right up in that corner in slot 1, and I'm worried that it doesn't touch. Okay, there's another view. It doesn't touch on that slot there. It doesn't touch up here. I mean, there's like, I don't know, maybe, I'm trying to think, not quite 1/8 of an inch. But over here, it pretty much touches, and I'm worried that anything got moved. And this will twist pretty good, the whole thing. Because see, those clips are actually, they don't have a clamp down, and it's fine. It'll hold it good along with the CPU paste. It's going to be fine, but it will twist pretty good. And because I was twisting it to make sure it was seated, the CPU paste was, seated good, or spread better, and it's bigger than the other one though, so that's a good thing. Now, and here's what 90 watts. Okay, that was what I was getting at. It says it will do 90 watts. Now the other one, I don't know what it's rated at, but this one is bigger, so if I was to ever upgrade the ASRock motherboard, that's what I would need, because that's the maximum CPU wattage it can handle, is 90 watts. So this one would work on the ASRock and probably just fine, for it, especially if I put it in one of these big red boxes. Like if I decided to upgrade for Mom, because at some point here, I don't think I'm going to do it now, but like maybe in 2 years, I don't think the next couple of versions of Fedora would run on this dual core very well. And I could go to Bane, and of course I'm going around and around about that, but I really like Fedora better, just like the way it's made, the way it works, and also it has security Linux built into it, and I just think that's safer for her, safer for anybody, but especially for her, since she doesn't know anything about what not to click on or anything. But yeah. So this is something I wanted to check. So yeah, this would work on the ASRock, I'm pretty sure. I need to look at it physically and make sure it wouldn't be banging into the memory. Even worse, that's always a possibility. But I think it's fine. I think it's fine as far as a budget. I mean, unless the fan quits in 6 months or something. I like the design of the fan, the shock mount, and it's quiet. It's not loud, and I like that in concept. I think that's good. The fan, any vibration that the fan might do, like when they vibrate, they're going to vibrate when they get dust on them. The way they're going to be they're probably going to be out of balance, and they're always going to get dust on them. And before you clean them up, I mean, I kind of keep an eye on them and clean them, when they start looking dusty. But I like that, and as long as the fan don't wear out too soon or anything, then it'll be all right. Heat sink's not going to ever wear out. Those clips could wear out or break. That's possible, but you don't take them on and off much, so that's not likely. So I think that's all right. What I'll end up, I'm just going to fool with this hardware forever. Is the only thing I don't like about all this. And the other thing is, I kept forgetting to. I think I'll go back on here, and I'm going to leave it like this, and I'll tell you my little stories while I do my order, because I don't know what else to do. All right. I kept forgetting to put her big power supply in the ASRock to see if indeed that. I don't know if I can do this very well. Oh yeah, I'll look in my wish list before I do this. I don't think there's anything else I actually need, but let's see. Yeah, okay. I don't mind showing my wish list. Screencast. Okay. I just put stuff in here that I'm interested in, and then sometimes I move it to shop and compare or something. But that was a pretty decent price on the. I actually not my favorite. Here they are. I put those in there. My favorite compressors, but that was a pretty good price on it. Well, it's kind of average, I guess, but save and compare. That's what it's called. What is that? Case fan rubber anti-vibration mounting screws. That would be a good thing to have. It's almost 450 though, but I just thought you could do that. So you could do that instead of screws, because I realized I had that one fan that had these on it, and that's what is holding that CPU fan together is these kind of things. But I didn't know you could just buy those, and they're easy to get on and off too. But one of my fans is like that. It came out of my old Dell. The case actually that my power supply amp I built it in. But you just put them in there in any kind of regular case fan, and then you pop it into the case. And it does make a difference. It cuts down on the noise. Any vibration that fan might do, it cuts it down. Quite a bit, a lot. So I think that'd be pretty cool. So I'm gonna leave that in my wish list, and I kind of want these for my V-amp too, so that I can run. The cable that came with it is not long enough to reach to my computer that I could run Windows XP. That program that you can set the programs in the V-amp with is made during the XP days, the 98 XP days. So it probably wouldn't even run good on. But I finally realized I have these two brand new cables I bought way back in the early 2000s, MIDI cables, and I thought they were like an oddball. And I didn't know what. Well, I've seen them over and over when I get in my cable box. I'm like, why did I even buy those? Well, that's why I bought them. They're exactly the same shape and pattern and 5 pins. So these would make my cables usable. Then I would have my extensions I need. And actually, I would have to buy 2 of those. They don't have to be 10 foot, but that's a good length. And those, I did kind of some looking around one day. And or I could buy all 12 of those for $12, or I could buy 2 of those and spend $8. All I need is 2. And then I could run my cables all the way around from the machine down in the rack to over here, so that I could program I did do it years ago. I remember that it was a lot easier to do your programming with that program than it is to do mashing buttons and sequences and hold this one down and do your tongue like this and that. And I don't think there's anything there I'm actually going to buy. I sure would like to get that. My batteries are, well, I've got one that won't even charge anymore from my DeWalt drill, and I got another one that mine are the older style of batteries, and this is an adapter where you can run the newer style. But I'd have to buy batteries too. That thing's not too expensive, but I'd have to buy the newer batteries as well, and they're not cheap either. I was wanting to rebuild those batteries by the 1894, 34, whatever they are cells, but it's kind of a lot of. Well, it's not cheap to do that, but it's definitely cheaper than buying the batteries. What is that? O-rings. I'll just go through here because there might be. This is just stuff that I'm interested in, or yeah, feel free to buy and send. Yeah, like everybody on YouTube expects people to give them money and buy them stuff and everything. I can't believe that. Of course, it'd be great, and people do it. But I mean, you're making. Nobody asked you to make these videos, so why would anybody owe you anything just because you worked hard making videos? Sure, it's a lot of work, and it's usually fun to most people that do it, or they wouldn't do it. But I think that is kind of out of hand nowadays. So the way people kind of expect people to give them money because they make a good video. I volunteered for concerts, Christian music, Christian rock, mostly. Well, both actually, contemporary and Christian. I started in about 89, early 90, and I kept doing it most weekends until about 2000. Started out with this one that did contemporary outfit shows, and mostly, and then I ended up getting to learning more and more about running sound. I had started running sound
a little bit. I mean, well, I had a little sound system, and I was doing just karaoke type, well, what they call karaoke, sing-along tracks is what we called it. But you could buy the cassette with the music, and I did it for my now ex-wife, and I would run sound while she sang. And so I already knew how to do it, but then that was a lot bigger deal with real bands and a lot more stuff to learn. Anyway, I learned, and I guess when did I start? 90, 91. I started to. Well, I did plays. I did plays at churches sometimes. I saw that on TV. Jesus Christ Superstar is going to be on somewhere around here near our area, like the commercial version of it. But the churches used to do a Christian version of it. Anyway, I did sound for that at one church quite a bit for 1 year, and but I got to do a lot of my favorite bands, Christian rock bands, hardcore, and all kinds of stuff. I really enjoyed that over the years, but so I'm just looking stuff that I thought was interesting. Actually, don't really need anything like that anymore because it's not a bad price, and it has pretty good reviews. Well, it did. It looks like it might have went down a little bit. But same thing with that one. Well, when I put it in there, it was $44.99, but you had to do something. I don't remember. But oh yeah, I do actually have one of those, and that was I guarantee I didn't put that in there at $8.57. See, I try to. If you're using your shopping and comparing on Amazon, whatever the price is, and you think it was pretty decent, put it in those notes. Click that comment thing, put it in there because that they lie to you. They say, "Oh, it went down." Well, it didn't go down. It went up half the time from what it was when you put it in there. A lot of these will say went down, and a lot of them I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, but some of mine will show what the price that when I put it in there. And the price that they say it went down to, well, it actually went up, and then it went down from there, I guess. But it did not. From the time I put it in my cart, it has gone up, not down. So I like Amazon, but they're not completely, they're not completely honest, completely perfect. No, nothing is. Nobody is, but. That's the one I would like to get now. I'm greedy. I've already got the 5 terabyte, and I'm not near filling it up. I've got 2.9 gigabytes on it still, I think. But I was going to put all my backup drives onto it, copy everything, all my backups to it, and then I could use all my, drives. I got 4 drives in my old machine over there that I basically turned into my backup machine, other than the backup drive here. But I got worried that I didn't want to fill it up, and also I got to thinking, well, if that one drive fails, then I'll lose all those backup, all my backups. So I thought I'm going to leave those others over there and just back up my newer files on the new one. Either way, you're risking losing them with only one backup drive. But some of my really important stuff I do have backed up 2 or 3 times, like my own music and stuff. And as many of my own videos as I can, because you can't remake those. You can't get those back. I mean, maybe if you got them on YouTube or whatever, you'll still have them. But most of mine I didn't have on YouTube. I just started doing that in the last couple of years. I wanted to edit them and make them all as perfect as I could. Are those the ones I have? I have some. I don't know if that's the ones I have or not. I think it might be. They're not even available anymore, but they're good. They're the whole lens is magnified. Now those are 125s. I got 1.5. These are some I wanted to get, but I was hoping they'd go down in price. But the ones I have, they're good. Good. I like them. They're not completely. They do hurt your head after a while. They squeeze a bit too much, and they were kind of sharp on my ears too a little bit. When I first got them, I sanded the ear pieces a little bit, and then the other day I sanded them some more. Hopefully I got rid of that. You can really hardly feel it with your fingers, but your ears are a lot more sensitive than I've been watching those forever. They had this one one of them was down to $9. I see, I didn't even write it down there, but I remembered it was down to $9 for a long time. But some of this stuff has been in here for many years. I need to move it, I guess, to. But sometimes I actually buy one of these things and then I take it out of the. Yeah, here's some those close cut wire cutters that I wanted to get some new ones because mine are messed up. But and they change. You know, when I put them in there, they were cheaper than that, most of them. But this is kind of a price watching wish list for me in a lot of ways. Some of it is stuff I really want, but yeah. Now see, I want these for my multimeter. I was talking about that yesterday. I want that. Actually, that one's got kind of a little bit of everything. That's got the clips, the alligator clips. I know I want that. That's a really good thing to have. Well, this one has alligator clips too. Oh, I didn't remember that. That looks like a good kit. It's got. I've never even had anything like that, but I've seen people use them in videos. So, you know what? I think that might have went up. I think it was more like $12 when I put it in there. Oh no, yeah, no, $16.99. It's still the same. Solder sucker, that might be good something. And those, all mine I had, I made myself back from Radio Shack parts, wire and clips back in the 70s, but they finally mostly all worn out. I broke them and I soldered all mine, and I broke them and resoldered them many times. And I might even get, see, one day I might get some heat shrink. Still haven't bought it. I've had some, a little bit here and there, but it is can be convenient stuff to have. One day I might get that for the washer. Actually, did I already get one of those? What's that in there? I thought I did get one of those. Maybe I didn't. That's the valve that controls the temperature of your washer. And I have bought some of this memory. Not this one. What is that? 4 gigabyte kit. PC60 400. It was $33 when I put it in there. I bought one of these mice, but not for $4. It's like $2. I mean, mouse pads. Yeah, there's a lot of things I need to just take out of this wish list area. I already bought one of these from I bought one for the Dell 6000, I think. No, I didn't. It didn't go out. I bought a battery. We got a battery for it, and I got one for the Acer laptop, the one that I really don't use it because I don't have a hard drive for it. I ended up getting one of those, and it's got a bad monitor, but you can use it like a desktop with the VGA output. If I had a hard drive for it, I could put an SD card in it and use it that way. But those SD cards, I learned with my Raspberry Pi, they're very volatile. They're very prone to losing all their data and having to reformat them. Sometimes you can repair them. Repair the file system, but a lot of times it's not repairable. These are some CPU coolers I had been looking at a long time ago. As you can see, the prices are just ridiculous. Now, I don't think they were that much before. Actually, the more I looked at that design, the more I don't really care for it because I think it's too fragile. I think it'll break too easy. I'm looking through this to see if there's anything I actually need to go with this order. Instead of, it's not just that I'm trying to show you my wish list. Save and compare. Let's see. Yeah, those, you've seen them, I'm sure. But the way they stick up, there's so much weight up there. And just that little bitty deal, that's not for these machines. That's for the kind where they screw down, which that's the only ones I would kind of be trusting that they might not break on you. But if you banged into it by accident pretty hard, you could probably break it. What is this? It's too expensive. I wouldn't buy it now anyway. I saw a bunch of those, and you can get them for $16 now. That one looks like it might be bigger than some of the ones I saw. Now, there's that CRC red, and I ended up buying the green. Where was that? I guess I didn't move it to the shop and compare it yet. hard drive. That's the hard drive I bought from Mom. That's one I kept watching, but that, which one is that? That might be a different one. 3 terabyte. Yeah, that. I decided that it was too iffy. It went down. I decided it was too iffy on the, and it actually says it went down, and it actually did, but it says was 72. Well, when I put it in there, it was 68. I think some of them were good, and some of them completely failed, I think. Wasn't ready to work yet. It's only got 60% 5 stars, so. And I think the reviews are pretty much all about this actual, because it's like an unusual product. I don't think they're all about very different. Very noisy. Sounds like something's loose. Well, that means the hardware's failing. So I think they're either good or they die. DOA and loud. Well, if it's DOA, how can it be loud? Well, I guess it can be. Well, hard drives, if they're clicking and clanking and everything, it'd be when you plug it in. So I decided that one wasn't. See, that's why I didn't get it from Mom. I decided that one wasn't. Now, and here's the processors that I've been looking at, but not a single one of these are in the list for that ASRock motherboard. And I keep thinking that this is what I was trying to say, and I got off track. If I put Mom's power supply in that ASRock and run it long enough to see if I'll have to run it at least all day one day to see if it didn't crash, then I would say, okay, for sure the power supply that it's in it's bad, and I would say, okay, it will run because the one that's in it's a two dual core, but it's not in the list either. It works, but for all I know, that's the reason it's crashing. But if I ran it long enough to say, okay, that runs good and it's not on the list, but is the type that will run in it, then one of these 6 core or 8 cores that are, I saw this, see, it was 109. I almost bought it. It's 8320 for 109, but now it's 111. Well, that's not much difference. It had gone up more than, it was quite a bit more, like 139. There's a 6 core was 74, now it's 78, and it has a cooler with it. Of course, I don't need a cooler now. So yeah, I'd get that 8320 for, I'd rather not pay more than what I saw it for, but yes, it was 137. That probably was the last price I saw it at. But this is what I'm talking about. I put it in there at 109. They say, oh, it was 137. That's exactly what I'm talking about. But this one would run in it, I'm sure. Now, would it run right? Would it crash on me or something like that machine is doing now? I need to do that. I'm going to have to spend a day doing it. But I need to do it before I finish her machine, because once I give her machine back, I can't do it. That says drop 13%. I don't have the price. I just wrote in there not compatible, not in the compatibility list. That's an 8350, and that has, I think it has a cooler with it too. That's not a bad price now, 129 for an 8350. They've just now gone down a little bit. Last time I looked, I just could not see it doing it. That one was a $99, and that's an 8320. Now it's 106. But it was 199. It just torques me that if I find something, okay, so this is the one I would have got. It torques me when I find something at a price, and then if it goes up from there, I don't want it unless it goes back down. Some memory that's way too high. It was 124 when I put it in there, but it is Corsair memory, so, and it is 16 gig of memory. That's more than that machine can hold. 8 gigabytes. It can only hold 8 total, so that wouldn't work in there anyway. I think I was looking at it to go with this motherboard right here, because I was actually thinking about getting that. It's gone up quite a bit. Those ASRocks, they tend to go up. Mine went up a lot after it was no longer available. People were trying to sell, and they had some new ones, and they were wanting to sell them. And I don't know if they sold them or not, but they're a cool motherboard. They're really, the one I have, it'll do anything from a dual core to an 8 core, and then like I said, there's only certain ones in the compatibility list, and actually the 8 cores are the super high expensive ones that are hard to find, the ones that are in the list. But these here, if they would work good, then that's cool. That's great. And you can either run DDR2. There's 4 slots, but it's either 2 DDR2s or 2 DDR3s, but it makes it like a perfect serviceman's board, you know, computer serviceman person's board, because it can go in a lot of different machines. And it was like 49 bucks or something when I bought it. Yeah, 49 bucks. I always remember I paid 50 bucks for it. Now what's this? Oh, this is the used one, and it's still 69 bucks. So I don't want to pay 69 bucks for a 6-core. I looked and looked and looked, and that was the best one I found. This one is in the list. This is one that's in the list. And what's that? Oh, that was just a speaker that I was looking at. So I think all this is just stuff. Oh, this is stuff that I don't think it's close to anybody's holiday or anything. So well, that machine has run a good long time now. Let me check my stream. I'm sure we'll make sure it's working good, but also let's see if it's how long it's been. Okay, so yeah, it's still starting at -1 hour. Oh, there's a mosquito in here right in my face. Dang it! I hate mosquitoes, and they love me. Anyway, it was -1 hour because I know because it says it's at positive 11 minutes. That means I've been going 1 hour and 11 minutes since I started this video. So yeah, we're still working. Okay. Yeah, these are kind of more gift ideas and stuff. I actually got the purple little frog from my mom and she loved it. It's quite a bit to pay for a little glass thing. It's real small. It's probably about 1.5 inches. There it is. But I didn't get it. Mosquito. I think it already bit my arm. Of course, I didn't feel any itching until I saw it. But no, that's not the one I bought. I don't know where the one is I bought. This is what I need for my chair right here. I got another one in the garage. What I did is this broke, and well, I don't know if this would fit my chair or not. I think this is more of a generic one, but I couldn't find any that would fit it. I looked at used ones, I looked at new ones. I finally bought a brand new chair that was not as nice of a chair, but the same exact brand and base at Staples for 50 bucks. This chair was like when I bought it, it's when did I buy it? It's well over 10, well, this is 2018. It could be 15 plus years old. It's a good chair, but this part broke. The chair itself was good, but this part was crap. I welded it, and I really kind of overheated it too, made it more soft, but it broke again. And so then I bought that chair for 50 bucks. And used its base and the same seat, and then I have a brand new seat in the box, and the original legs like this were aluminum, and one of the holders for the wheel broke off. But I think actually I thought it was aluminum, but you know what? I think it's actually just soft steel, so I should be able to weld it. I can't weld aluminum. I can weld steel. I don't have the gas and everything to weld aluminum. I got a wire welder that could do it, but I don't have the gas. And I don't think I want to be spending a bunch of money for gas. But anyway, let's see. Oh, that's the other. I don't have the USB. I have the Xenix 802. That's what I'm using right now. But yeah, just stuff. I bought this and that was a good switch. I mean, I haven't got to use it all that much now, but I put that on my table for my table saw, and so I can. Got a safety switch right out there where you can get to it and pop it off with your knee if you need to. Only this part right here around the green, that hurts your knee when you hit it. But it works good. I think it's probably less likely to break than one with that design. That's that kind that you pull out and it sticks way out. You could get hung. You could get cords hung on it or whatever. Like if you're like I set wood on my table when I'm not running the table saw. I use it for a workbench and for routing stuff and all kinds of stuff. So your cord will be going by there, from your router. Darn mosquito. Everything goes. I hate that when you try to page down slowly, it jumps and goes all over the place. And this is when I was looking at lapel mics, and I ended up. I don't know. Yeah, look at that, 31 bucks. They were all like $9 to $12, or this one was $6, but the one I got was 10 bucks. And oh, that's a wireless. That's why it's 31 bucks. Sorry, that's a different one. But that's UHF. Oh, it might be. Yeah, it's not FM. Some of them are on FM band, and that don't work. That you can't get more than 20 feet from them, and there's so much noise in them you can't use them. I got one that's an adapter that you can plug into a XLR, any mic with an XLR connector. And it worked when I first got it, but now it won't even work. I think there's just too much, the radio signals are too saturated now. That one I thought it had good reviews, and I thought, well, but the one I have that I'm using every day, I paid about $10 for it. I don't know which one it is. I'd have to go look. Now there's probably that. Did it again. Let's go to the bottom. Here's what I do. I'll hit end. Keep doing it until it quits doing anything, and then go back and it'll page smooth. If you can find your spot that you were at. Oh, we got a lot more stuff. This is the one I have right here. I accidentally hit it. It's okay. So far, so good. I mean, it's, 6 or 8 months old now? This is a heck of a deal. I don't even want to show it to you, unless it's changed in price. But either one of these, like this one's got a bunch of mics. It's a Mackie VLZ2 and a headset and all kinds of stuff. And then this one, and I think the stand even comes with it. Okay, I'll have to, whoops. It looks like all that comes with that one. That's less than the board usually costs. And if you look at other sellers, you'll see. And I think it's coming from Mackie. I lost my place. Oh, it completely lost when I meant to hit control, hold down control and open that in a new tab, and I missed it with my finger, and so I lost everything. I'm going on a Windows shopping spree now. But this one has some mic cords and headset, so it's the same price. So, and it's the same board, I believe. VLZ2 Pro FX16. Yeah, so this is the one I would get. And let's see if it says. Sometimes I get confused about who it's coming from. It says Mackie up there, but that's actually not where you look to see who it's coming from, is it? Sometimes it'll say sold by Amazon or whatever. Sometimes it'll say sold by Audio Savings. Okay. And then the other one, sold by Audio Savings. Okay, so I don't know if it comes with that. It's showing the little rack, and that'd be really handy, that little, to hold something to set it on. That one there's not available anymore, but that would be nice. Now, that's my favorite board, all-around board, because you can mix full bands all day. I mix more bands on a VLZ than any 16-channel VLZ than anything, and you can do just fine. You could sometimes use a few more channels, but most of the time you don't really need it for a live show. And if you're recording in the home studio, that's really all you need. Most of the time if you're doing it that way, you're probably only going to use 2 to 4 channels at a time anyway. But there's one of those mic adapters I was talking about. This one I think is a piece of crap. But I have one that I bought back in the early 2000s or late 98, not late 90s, that kind of thing. But they're not worth having. There's another one, I think. Yeah, those are only quarter, and that's what mine is. They don't work with the output connector. Let's see. This one actually has a little bit better on the. They have a 1/4 inch. You have to plug it. You got to have a device that will accept 1/4 inch input. Well, now that I have a mixer, I can do that. I can plug that into my mixer. But I'm guarantee you the sound would not be worth it. I don't think. I think is, I'm not talking about the quality. I'm talking about the noise and interference from the other radio signals and Wi-Fi and everything else in the area. It's all radio, and it's all going to compete for the bits. Anything close in frequency, you're going to get bleed over. These are, I'm going to say they're analog, and that's what mine was. If they are digital, then maybe they would do a little better on that. But everything is so crowded now here's the other one. It looks better. So you just plug it into an SM58. Well, that's what I would do. Or you could plug it in. If I got it, I wouldn't use their mic. I'd use mine. But I don't think it would. And I don't know if they. I don't remember what it said. I just really thought they were horrible quality. Broke. Yeah, this one broke a lot. So I got that from my mom. It's beautiful. It was actually just pretty as it could be. And got it for Christmas. I think it was the year before this one, year before this last Christmas. But there it is. Okay. You know what? I guess I've shown you enough junk, but I do want to keep debating. I'm actually going to end up needing to take a break anyway, but I also want to get my little order done. I just don't need anything else. So let me stay on the camera. It don't take long at all to do your order. I'll do my order, and then I can say, hey, my thing is on the way. Won't that be fun? Well, it might be. All right. So what I do, the other thing I do when I order stuff, I want copies of everything. Make sure. Sometimes I make mistakes, or sometimes you don't get what you think you're supposed to be getting. So I do screenshots. So it takes me a little longer, but I think that I can just order this without, sometimes it depends on what you're ordering. Let's see. Yeah, there's tax. Total before tax, $278. Oh, no tax and no shipping. Okay, so I can just order this all by itself, which is probably good because they won't try to group it with anything else. Let me make sure. I've looked at it 1,000 times, so yeah, 35 millimeter. Okay, let's make sure it's just the one I think it is. Can't click on it to go to the product again to double check from here. But I didn't realize that when you narrow it down to 4 stars, there's only 3 to choose from of that size, of 35 millimeter. Well, the wind's really blowing today. What did I do? Yeah, okay. Talking and doing at the same time. But 287 with 3 of them. I mean, I hope that none of them are bad, but you got 3 chances to get a good one. So, and since all the ones I saw are actually coming from China, going to take forever, might as well get that. Okay. Yeah, now I can look at it. Now that I guess it's going to be about time for me to eat lunch. Okay, so this is the one I got. I went ahead and clicked on the link after I went back to review your order. Then I was able to look at it again. And if the connector was actually wrong, because I can't see the other side, I don't think it is. But if it was, I got the old connector. I could just cut the wires and splice them if I had to. But yep, 1.4 inch. I did figure out it's 35 millimeter, so I'm remembering that actually better than the 1.4 inch. And then 1 inch on centers for the holes, mounting holes. So that's it. We'll see what we get. These old fans are always wearing out anyway. The only thing, I mean, you could use them in other things, but there'd be no shroud on it. And boy, they're probably sharp too. But anyway, I wouldn't want to get my fingers in one of those again. They are much more, that can really cut you up. You think, I mean, you can stop them. When I had it out and I was making sure I touched it in the center, you can stop it. Well, I mean, hopefully these won't be that weak as the ones I have now, the old ones. But you can touch it in the center there and stop them easily, the ones I have. But I think it'll be fine, and just going to take a while. And since I've sat here this long, I think it's going to end up being quiet. It has not made a single peep of noise. I mean, it could be that I cleaned it up and it'll be fine for another couple of years, but I'm just going to go ahead and take it out and put a new one in there, and then I can always. I don't think I have very many machines with this type of recessed fan that goes into the cooler like that, but into the heatsink. But I'll go over there. Let's see. I'll go over here. You can't see a thing like that, but I'll go over here and I'll take my little wireless mic and I'll put it up close to it and show you what it sounds like now after running for over an hour. It's just fine. Oops. Had to mute the SM58. Yeah, okay. Let's make sure that. Well, before I go over there, I'm going to make sure that it all working like expected. Then I'm going to take a break, and I may go ahead and eat lunch probably before I come back and everything. And I think I will. Well, I can put it back in the rack, so I don't have to listen to it at all. It does kind of block light. It makes me. I can have a bit of a shadow on me here in my little corner. I think I got bit more than at least once there with that mosquito, and I never did see it again. I guess that's why I didn't see it. It was on my arm. Okay, so we'll take this off and just stick it in the different places on the machine. Ow. Okay, I'm trying to figure out which side is which. Well, okay, now here's where you would really hear the sound. It's where you would really hear the sound from that CPU fan. Now here's the main fan in the back. And there's the power supply. Now I'll go down to just the vent at the bottom. This is not a real loud machine when it's working right. I can hear the side fan a little more. It has a bit of a higher pitch or something. Maybe all of them together does, you know. I do have the new. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, so I have the new. I'm not done with the hardware because I want to try. I want to let it run. I really don't want to do that until. I don't know if I want to go all day, but I want to put the old CPU cooler on it. I'm gonna lay it down so we can see it. Now I can hear that a little more. Just the overall. That is the loudest side of it. That's what all the fans together coming through that side. That's what it sounds like. Dust in my face. But this new CPU cooler, since it's so close to the memory, I think I want to, if the other one's okay and it doesn't indeed, of course I can confirm whether or not it actually ever made any noise or not by putting it back in there. But the other one is just on the absolute edge of, you know, what will fit in there. I mean, this one fits, but like I said, I really wouldn't trust that memory stick up next to this one unless I put some tape down the whole side of it. Some electrical tape to make sure it couldn't touch. Oh, got jet coming over. I got the window open. But wouldn't completely trust it with this one without some tape on there. Don't really like that idea of doing. Let's go back to this mic. That way the noises outside won't drown me out hardly at all. Okay, so yeah, now that I laid it down, it's actually louder laying on its side, and before it was way louder standing up. But now I can hear just the machine hum, you know, of all those fans. And yeah, actually, it's way quieter standing up now. I'll just leave it like that because I'm fixing to get off of here and eat and stuff. But good. But yeah, let's I'm actually tired of fiddling with the hardware on that thing, but I really do think that I want to try to go back to the old cooler because of the space, and for the CPU, I mean, and I really it just keeps nagging me, and I keep forgetting about it and thinking about it. Go ahead and it's gonna be a pain in the butt. I mean, it's not hard, but you do have to be really careful that you get all the wiring back in there right and everything. But take that power supply out of there and put it in the S-Rock, and see if it runs okay. Because now that I've seen those big CPUs, of course, if that could redirect everything, that would mean if I decided to go ahead and get an 8320 or an 8350 and put it in that ASRock motherboard, the power supply is plenty big. It's 650 watt. Now I do have the CPU cooler, but I would have to get the CPU and the memory. I would get 8 gig of memory, and then it would be a screaming demon. Well, not a demon. I don't like demons. Do you? It would be a fast machine. It'd be a hot rod. It would be a hot rod PC then. At the time when we bought it, that's why we named it Hot Rod PC, because it was fast, fastest one we had, and it had all the light, blinky, all the fancy lights and everything. It looked sharp. Looked like I painted up hot rod or something, but not a hot rod anymore. Now that it's older, it's a flathead V8, and what we need is a 454 stroker. I know LSs are supposed to be the ones that can do the most, but I still like my 454s. My 402 big blocks that I had in my 670 SS Chevelle. Actually, that was the best engine I ever had. I didn't blow it up. Well, I didn't blow it. I didn't blow up a 454. I built one and I had the rod bearings spin in it and ruined the crank. So then I put my 402 out of my 70 Chevelle in my 64 panel truck. I had that 454 in my 64 panel truck. I had built it all. It came with a 6-banger, and I put a 454 and a turbo 400 automatic in it. So then after I spun a rod bearing in that, I put my 402 out. I'd kind of bent up my 70 Chevelle anyway. Yeah, I had a 70 SS Chevelle that I paid $800 for in 1975 or 6. I think it would be worth $23,000 right now. But I beat it up, bent the frame, sold the body, kept the motor, ended up selling the motor by itself later, years later. No, I sold the 64-pound truck with the motor in it. So if you find a 64-pound truck in Texas, I guess it could be anywhere now, but I sold it to a guy for about $900, a few years later. But there's a 64-pound truck with a 402 out of an SS Chevelle running around here. It's probably around Dallas or Fort Worth still. I put it in there. Of course, there's no telling what he did with it since then, but that was back in the, when did I sell it? I think I sold it in the 80s. Yeah, 82, because that's when I bought my land, and that's when I sold it, because I needed money to move my mobile home onto my land and all that stuff. And I guess I sold it for the down payment for the land. Can't remember now. But I can ramble. All right, well, I'm done with that part, and I did it. I pulled the switch, pulled the trigger, ordered that. Where is it? Ordered those 3 fans. Well, really, I mean, usually I'll have to watch myself because I'm such a bargain lover. I will buy something that's not really good enough just because it's a bargain. But now that I went back and looked again, I realized it'd be silly to buy. I mean, this is like the fan everybody's selling that. I realize there's not very many. Generally, I don't like to buy things that's only a couple of reviews, but all the other alternatives were a lot more expensive, and there was, plenty really bad. They either got a good one or they got a bad one. That's what happens with everything now. You may get a good one, you may get a bad one. And the other thing is it may last 6 months or 2 years, or if you're really lucky, 3 years or 5 years or something. With electrical things like fans, I don't know if you can buy a fan that will last 5 or 10 years anymore. I really don't know. I've bought a few new ones in the last 18 years, and they wore out quicker than the original fan that was put in the machine in the 90s, They wore out quicker. They already wore out, a lot of them. So, some of them are still working. I'm trying to think. Anyway. Let's close that for now. All right. I guess I'm done with my rambling on here. Yep. Okay. Well, when I figure out what to do while I'm eating lunch and all that junk, I'll figure out what it is I want to do next. And I would like to just go back to adding software to that. I guess I really, now that I see the processors have gone back down to at least to what I consider a reasonable price, at least within a couple of dollars of what I saw them for before. That makes me more interested in doing that. So, but I'd have to put that power supply in the S-Rock. I took it out in the garage, but I can bring it back in. Put it in the S-Rock and run it for a long enough time to see if it's going to crash. And it shouldn't crash, period, I mean, it's a Fedora 26, and I think it's the power supply is why it crashes. The thing is, sometimes I could run it all day and it wouldn't crash, and then the next time it would crash twice in a day or something. But it had gotten worse. It was getting worse. So that's on this machine. I'm going to put the old CPU. I'll do that first before I do anything else. Make sure that what I'm going to do about the CPU cooler, and then I might actually take that power supply out and put it in that other one. Because now, but that means that I would have to. I'm glad I'm not very far along on this new Fedora 27 install. I've got it installed, but it's not really set up or anything. Because I would want to start over, because I'd have a whole new processor, new memory. I think it would work and run just fine, but I'd always have in the back of my mind, well, does it actually have the right firmware for the CPU? Is it if I was to just change CPUs with the same exact install that I have on there now. And since I'm at the beginning of the install, I might as well start over. I just don't want to. It runs okay, but it doesn't run great. It's easier to slow it down. All right. Well, I'm going to go now. I'll come back later. All right. Let's see. How do I do this? Oh, yeah. Play my little music, exit music. All right. Bye-bye.